Alright guys, here is 8, that's right, 8 secret tips if you like camping to make your camping experience even better. Hey, welcome to 2 Camping Gurus. If you like camping in the great outdoors, you are in the right place. Okay, tip number 1 has to do with your water hose and hooking up at the campground. If you got it all hooked up and you're inside and you're using it and everything's fine and good, and then you're done camping and you're getting ready to go home, and you got to disconnect that. Now, a couple things you want to be careful of. If it's a hot day and you got a dark hose, that water gets really hot in there. You're going to shut the faucet off, of course, at the campground, but there's pressure left in that line. So there's a way you can avoid having a burst of water come out on your hand and possibly getting burned. And that is a simple solution as putting a Y on the connector so you can shut the valve off, open the Y, and that lets the pressure out in a controlled fashion where you know it's going to come out. Once that pressure is relieved, and if the water is hot, you've taken care of that situation, then you can now remove the hose, drain it safely without getting a burn. Tip number 2 also has to do with the water hose. Another thing to help reduce the risk of any damage inside your unit when you're away, I always shut off the water at the campground to my unit when I leave the site. If we're going sightseeing for the day, if we're going hiking, walking, biking, or if we're just walking out lounge area or something to the pool, I shut the water off. It only takes a second. When you walk back by, you can just turn it back on. But any number of things could happen while you're away. You could spring a leak inside the unit, and then you have a real mess on your hands. The hose outside could spring a leak, and you just, 1, you're wasting water, and 2, you could potentially cause yourself a lot of damage inside your unit. So if you're leaving your campsite for any length of time, shut that water off and avoid potential problems. Okay, tip number 3, and that has to do with out in the backcountry area, or maybe not even, maybe you're just around a regular campground, but have DEET with you for ticks and stuff like that. Now, you do your own research. You know, there's all kinds of good and bad about DEET. I'm not I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I know DEET works really well. I don't generally put it on my skin. What I do is make sure it's on my sneakers or footwear pretty good. So if anything's going to be crawling up from there, they got to go through that DEET. And then, of course, I put some on my outer clothing a little bit to help deter them that way. But I don't like dealing with ticks, and this is a great way to deter them. And it's pretty simple to do, and it works very, very well. So that's that tip is to have some DEET with you, especially if you're going to go hiking in the woods. Secret tip number 4, and that is aluminum foil. Now, aluminum foil can be used for a lot of things. We use it in our home all the time, like putting on a pan when you're going to cook in the oven, and you can certainly do that while you're camping as well. But there's some additional things you can use it for, and one of those is putting it on your grill. If you're cooking, like I have a little Coleman grill that I unfold, I put it over the grill plate itself, and I'll poke holes through it to allow grease to go through, and then I put it in the base of the grill so it collects the grease, and what it does, as you know, it makes cleanup a lot easier. So that is a great way you can use aluminum foil to help cleaning up your grill. Another thing you can do, if you keep some with you, and you can fold up a small square of it, and it can fit in a backpack if you're hiking, and if you need water, you can actually form that into a cup and actually gather water with it. So that's another use, but I'm sure other people have ideas they can use aluminum foil. If you do, put some in the comments below. Any tips great for all of us campers to have, but aluminum foil is a fantastic thing to make sure you have with you for a whole host of reasons. Alright, secret tip number 5, and again, these are kind of basic, but you don't really think about it, have duct tape with you. You can use duct tape for a lot of things, holding things together, fixing things temporarily, even as simple as a cut. If you have something like a piece of cotton, you can put on a cut and then pull it together with duct tape if you don't have a Band-Aid. But of course, I definitely recommend having a first aid kit with you. But that duct tape, as you know, is used for everything, and everybody has it in their home, but when they head out into the camper, they don't always think about, oh, I gotta have my duct tape, I'm going camping. But it's something I take time to think about. Grab a roll of duct tape, put it in your camper, keep it in your camper, and it's going to come in handy for a lot of things that you don't even know about until it happens. And if you have some duct tape with you, you could take care of quite a few situations. So that's another secret tip. Always have a roll of duct tape handy. Alright, this is secret tip number 6, and this has to do with a gallon jug of water. Now if you don't have a lantern, or if you've ran out of propane for those type of lanterns, or the battery's dead, another one, but you got a flashlight and you want to sit the table outside and have a little bit more light, one thing you can do is take a gallon of a milk jug that's kind of opaque or clear, and you can fill it full of water and then put the flashlight up against the milk jug. It's going to light that water up and illuminate from all sides of the milk jug and give you a nice little glow that you can kind of see and still chat. So it's something really simple, and of course you're going to want to have water with you anyways, so it's a twofold. You have a gallon of water handy if you need it, and also you can use it as a little bit of a floodlight in a small area. It's not going to be a big floodlight of a huge area, but it certainly will light up like a picnic table area, and you can see people's faces while you're chatting. So that's another little trick you can use. Like I said, just put the flashlight up against it. It's going to illuminate that area for you. Okay, so we're going to jump back a little bit and we're going to talk about water again, and that is when you're showering. This now would be more like if you were boondocking or you have a limited supply of water, or even not if you're just trying to conserve a little bit. But if you're out boondocking and you want to take a shower, then one thing I suggest, most RVs have the shower head that has a shut off and on right on the shower head itself. Once you get your temperature set where you like it, you can shut that off, and when you turn it on, it's going to be ready to go where you want it. So you get yourself wet, you soap up, you shut that thing off while you're washing, and no sense having that water running. I do this all the time. It saves tons of water, and you can prolong your boondocking stay, and you're not going to fill up your gray tank nearly as fast. We'll have that on. Once you're done washing, you snap that back on, and then you can rinse yourself off. Meanwhile, you have conserved quite a bit of water, and you didn't have to fiddle around with the nozzle each time. As long as you have one with a shut-off switch, this is a great tip for conserving water and extending your boondocking stays. All right, secret tip number 8. There we go, number 8. Now this one has to do with more if you are a tent camper, although there is situations where this will be handy in an RV or other places. It has to do with zippers. Sometimes zippers get stuck, especially on tents, or if you have an attic room on your RV and it has tents for the screens and stuff like that. If you have a candle with you, you can use that candle wax to rub it up and down the zipper, and it's going to make that zipper glide a lot better. Now, if you happen to have kids with you and not a candle, you might have crayons, and crayons will work just as well. It's that waxy kind of stuff that you just kind of get on there, and it's going to make that zipper go up and down much easier, and it's going to reduce the chance of breaking something if it's catching or having the zipper pop apart. So that's a little tip you can use if you have zipper trouble, and of course you can use this tip anywhere in life if you have a zipper problem. So that is a great tip for you. Alright, so that was the 8 more secret tips for campers that you can use while you're out and about to make your camping stay even more enjoyable, safer, and more fun for the whole family. Alright, I hope you found that video helpful. If nothing else, at least entertainment. Please take the time to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, have a great day.